Today we're going to be looking at some miniaturized sets showing what military engineers do. And this is for water crossings. This one right here looks like it's World War II era. The followings would be Civil War ones. Without further ado, let's get to it. This miniaturized set is depicting military engineers creating a pontoon bridge or a floating bridge, and it's very interesting. This is Civil War era. They're basically creating little boats or rafts and creating a bridge on top of them in modular form to go all the way across a river. It's very interesting. This was done in the Civil War. It's been done in many wars since then, and everything's been modernized, of course, and technology has improved to create better crossings. But it's very interesting to look at it this way and think of the logistics needed for this. You need to get the wood there. You can't just have this in any spot. You have to have it in an area that the current isn't too strong. The river doesn't fluctuate too much. It's not too shallow. It's not too deep where the current can go underneath it and really grab the bridge. But also it has to be near supply lines. It has to be to where you get the material there. It has to be on the way to where you're going, not completely out of the way. It's very interesting learning about how military engineers will find the spots to put these bridges across and keep them there to where they don't float away, to where they don't break, and all the time and effort, the knowledge needed. It's very fascinating, and I love the miniatures. Every time I go to a museum and I see the miniatures, it kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, and I would always be playing with the little green army men instead of playing on what are now prehistoric Game Boys that everyone else was using back when I was a kid. But I just love the little miniaturized sets. It looks awesome. They're custom made for this museum. It just looks fantastic. And it shows a little bit of a battle here between the Confederates and Union soldiers. And this was another thing that had to be considered at these bridges. These were very important places to control. If you can control the supply lines, you can control where battles are, where reinforcements are brought in. So just all this is absolutely fascinating. And it's really cool to look at the little miniaturized sets, all the time and effort put into it to depict historical accuracies, and that you do have to defend the military engineers while they're building this. It's really interesting to look at. Thought you all would really enjoy this. Some of these videos, I am not going to have too much detail on some of these things. I also want to encourage some of y'all to go and research this yourselves. That's part of the fun of history, isn't just one video saying everything about one thing or one article. It's reading a bunch of articles, hearing different viewpoints on why things were done one way or another, or someone's idea of why someone did this compared to something else. It's very fascinating to see all kinds of different views throughout history, different reasonings for different tactics, and such as this. It's very interesting to go and research article after article, video after video, and it's fascinating to go to a museum and to see this depicted in miniaturized set. So I encourage you all to go and look at this on the internet yourselves. Go look at books in the library. Personally, I love books. I love reading books. It's better than just finding articles on the internet, in my opinion. But use all the resources. Use books. Use documentary DVDs. Use all the articles you can find. Use YouTube videos. It's all fascinating. So I encourage you all to research this. It's a lot of fun to look into. If y'all look into it, let me know what y'all find. What interesting facts you find. What is something that most of us wouldn't be thinking about or that most of us don't know? I'm very curious to know. Go ahead and put it in the comment sections. I'm looking forward to reading it. Have a good one. Enjoy the history.